Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be making some more Christmas decoration, which is going to be a Christmas theme mixed media collage painting. And this is how it's going to look. Now, I realize that this is going to be reversed because of the camera, but in the actual video, you probably will not see it this way. Okay, so I'll talk to you in a little bit. Hello again, everyone. So today we are going to be doing another mixed media collage project for a Christmas decoration, or you can say this is probably closer to a Christmas decorative painting, collage painting. Okay, so obviously because it's a collage, the first thing you'll need is all your papers and your collage ephemera, so to say. Okay, mainly the papers, because for my case it's the paper. And then along the way, I'll show you something else. Okay, and now, and then you're going to need your gel medium. For my case, I'm going to be using some pincers because I'm going to be handling some little dots. So these come in especially handy for when I'm handling them and using glue or the gel medium at the same time. Okay, and then you're going to need either an X-Acto knife or a box knife or a pen knife, whatever you want to call it. Okay, pair of scissors for sure, a pencil for drawing, your applicator for the gel medium, which I'm using in this case is a silicone brush or silicone paint shaper, that's what they call it. And we're using a, what's this, the canvas panel. Okay, canvas panel, and you can use the canvas if you want, any size that you want. Just make sure that you have enough paper to cover it. And but I'm using this is like a (20 cm by 20 cm). Okay, I don't know what is it in inches, but we can find out. Okay, it's about 7 3/4, I guess. Yeah, 7 3/4 inches. Okay, you can see here. So it's a square canvas. It's a square canvas panel, and you can see that this canvas panel isn't exactly really clean, but I got it for under $2, so I'm not complaining. And we don't need the canvas panel to be absolutely clean. It just needs to be, how to say, straight. Most of it's white because when the paper goes down, everything's going to be covered, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so, and then because our main object is going to be a poinsettia, and this is the mask that I've drawn for the poinsettia. So basically 3 leaf shapes. Tip for drawing this, the most important one is the middle one. Okay, so this is like the second layer of the poinsettia, and this is like the innermost layer of the poinsettia, and this is kind of like going to be the leaf. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be exactly the way I've drawn it here, and then you can reshape it, you can trace it, you can reshape it later on. Okay, like what I'm doing now. Alright, So if you don't like that shape, you can reshape it, but I'll probably go with the one that's inside. So the reason you can freehand draw it too if you want, but you gotta have at least something for reference. Okay, so first things first, I'm probably going to be cutting this out, and then we're gonna use this on the collage paper. Okay, I think I'm going to use my X-Acto knife cutter because I think the scissors is taking too long. That wasn't too bad. Let me check first. Okay. So these will work. So this is how it will kind of look like after you lay it on. Okay, so the biggest one is the leaf. So in any case, we're gonna set this aside. Now we're gonna be punching holes. So we will need at least some kind of a hole puncher. You can either use a 2-hole puncher like this one. It's a really old puncher that's been with me for probably over 20 years. Okay. I don't know what the brand is, but it's really long. It's been with me for a really long time. Alright, but if I might use this instead. This is a 6-hole puncher that I use to make my my sketchbook, my ring bound sketchbook. Okay, this is a 6-hole puncher. So at one go it punches 6 holes, which is perfect. Okay, and you will see me using it probably. Alright, so first off, let me set this aside. We are going to be needing this and some paper for the background. So I'm going with a Christmas theme, so I'm going to be using this color, and then later on I'm going to be needing this green. Oh boy. Okay. And then I'm going to need some of the red. I haven't decided which one yet, but these were the reds that I made for particularly this project. Okay, and I can reuse some of the stuff that I used in the previous video. This here. Yes, and we are going to need this. Okay. This was printed in the previous video. And in case you're wondering, I'm searching for the sheet the collage paper here. I found it from the previous video. Alright, and now we are almost ready to go. So hopefully this would be big enough or small enough, so to say. Alright. So we're gonna set this aside. I am gonna get opening this up. Okay. Here we start off, and I said I was going to reuse this paper, so I'm going to start out with this. I'm going to go this way. I don't want this portion of it, so I'm going to stick it out. And I want a raw edge like this that's torn. So we're gonna let the edges hang off the edge of the paper hang off the edge of the canvas for now, and we can just trim it off later. So I'm needing more. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside to let it dry, and now we're gonna trim all this stuff off once it's dry. Need to fix a little bit first before I set it aside to let it dry. Okay. Next, we have a few things that we need to do. First off is, while that is drying, I need to go over this in silver. Some of it, not all of it. So this lettering, because I find that it's easier to do it down here than when it's already on the painting. Okay, so that's as good as it's going to get. See how this would look in that background. Love it. Okay. Now we're going to do the flower of the poinsettia. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this piece. What I need is like 5 of the little one and 5 of the huge ones. I mean 5 of each. You can use either your scissors or your cutter to cut it. So I'm using my cutter to cut it. need another one because that was right at the end. So, in case anyone is wondering what is this is a swivel X-Acto knife. It's an X-Acto knife that has a swivel front here. I think that's what they call a swivel head, and it's really nice for cutting curves. Okay, I didn't bring this up because I forgot I had it. And I've had this for, I don't know, over 10 years. I have not used it for a long time. Okay. So, just to show you how this is gonna go, these are the leaves, or rather, the flower of the. Oh, I can't use this. No, I can't use this because there's white stuff here. You get the idea. Right, set these aside. And now I need the leaves, the green leaves. So I have two. And I think they're both the same. I think I'm gonna use this one. And this is done with the Japanese rice paper. I will need 5 of this as well. So this is how they look. Alright, so before we assemble this, gonna have to look at whether this is dry. Yeah, it's dry. So I'm gonna be able to trim all the excess off. Alright, so now we gotta decide how we want to lay this down. So I basically want to follow the rule of thirds. So basically, let me get a ruler and show you what I mean. Rule of thirds, okay? So you divide this canvas into threes, okay? I'm not actually going to do this, maybe lightly, and it's just eyeballing. So I'm just eyeballing it. So where the line intersects, which is somewhere here, okay, this happens to be a broken, which is somewhere here, okay, I would say closer to maybe a little bit further up here is where I want the center to be. Let me test that. Yeah, I want it to be somewhere here. Alright, so I can lay the leaves down now. Okay, so we set this aside and let it dry before continuing. And while we're waiting for it to dry, we'll do the 6 little things that was going to go in, or rather 5 little things that are going to go in here. So how we do the 5 little things that are going in here is, again, we're using the piece of cardstock. And what we're doing is, here's chrome marker. So because I'm using this to punch, so I just need to make a column about as thick as that. It's not giving me the effect that I want, so I'm going to supplement it with alcohol ink. Not alcohol ink, sorry. Acrylic ink. Alright, so we have to wait for it to dry. Alright, so this is dry, and it's a little bit shiny now after I used the acrylic ink. So I'm gonna take this cover off because I'm going to need to be able to see where everything is landing. So you can see here it's 6 holes. So I'm gonna slot this in. Ooh, I colored it a little bit too deep. No problem. That's a quick fix. There we go. There. That should be good. This is what the pincer is for. You can fix this when I'm done gluing this on. Alright, so this is dry now. And I will have to decide if I want to cut this off or leave it as it is. As it is right now, I feel like I will be cutting it off. So I'll leave it later to decide. But I need to glue that down. So I can still move it while it's still wet. I think that's fine. Alright, so we're getting ready to glue this now, but before I do that, we're gonna make some mark making tools. So this was from my previous video, if you remember, but that's not the issue here. I'm trying to make a simple mark making tool. So this is only temporary. It'll probably only ever last one time, like one use. If you're lucky, maybe two, because it's made out of paper. I may be wrong, but we'll see. My guess is it'll probably only last one use. So what I'm doing is, this is a disposable chopstick. I'm using it as a guide to roll the paper up. Use it. You can use whatever tape you want. I just have this handy at the moment. There. Okay. That's all I need. Now, I'm gonna need disposable cup. Okay, this is just an empty yogurt cup. And let's see, I think I'm gonna use silver because everything is silver there. Spread that around, and I'm going to use this as a mark making tool. Okay, we don't want the bubble there, we want them to be like this. And then I'm just gonna we want it a little bit organic. Alright, well, we might get a few more use out of this, which is a good thing. Alright, so we are done here. We gotta wait for this to dry. Wait for that to dry, leave it aside. And then we're gonna prep this. So how are we gonna prep this? We're just gonna tear the wordings out, being quite careful not to tear into any of the prints. Neat. Okay, it's dry enough. And we're gonna glue this on now. No, wait, before we glue that on, there's still one more thing I have to do. I'm gonna have to outline all of these. I've decided to cut it out. Alright, this little blip here can fix. Okay, now we can glue this on. So, a word of caution here. If you use tracing paper, there's a tendency for it to wrinkle up for some reason, and I can't get it to sit flat. It'll just want to wrinkle up. So just be very mindful about it. I tried my best, but maybe it's better if you glue it down with some glue because you'll probably have less chance of wrinkling up. So in any case, this is about, I'd say 98% done. Okay. The only thing that I need to do is I need to wait for this whole thing to be completely dry, which takes a few days. And then I would coat it in varnish. Oh yeah, and then I'll have to paint this part. Actually, I can do it now. Chrome marker. Finish it by doing this. Okay, so here we have the finished product. I've only put a layer of the gloss varnish on it, which is this varnish as you have seen with the brush. And then I also varnished the sides, so the sides looks like this now. Okay, so that's the four sides, and the back is like almost pristine, I would say. So this is a I do like this. I was thinking maybe I want to put 2 more coats of varnish on this, but it would just take too long to make the video, because according to the directions on the bottle, it says you can put up to 3 coats on, and it's a 3-hour wait in between coat. So I'm not gonna wait that long. So I think this is satisfactory for me. If you want to put more coats on, you can put on, but I think this looks way better than when I had the matte gel medium on it. Okay, everything just looks flat, and with this there's some gloss here and there, and it looks great. So I do kind of like this. All right, so there is another idea I was toying with, is you could probably just pour this on, okay, and just move it around until the liquid spreads out, and maybe it'll be smoother and you won't see any of these lines. But part of this painting is the striations or the lines in the paper that I made. It gives it a kind of a touch of like a Van Gogh's painting. So that was basically kind of like the look that I was going for. So I do like it. So, but having said that, I would say that maybe next time if I want a glossy finish, I would put a coat of, let's say, use the pouring medium on it. I don't have an example I can show you, but pouring medium is slightly thicker than this, and it has the consistency of shampoo, so to say. So when you pour on it, it will spread out really nicely. You can spread it out a little bit to encourage the movement before everything dries. And the layer will be somewhat thicker because this consistency of this is pretty close to water. So when you put it on, everything shows up. All the nooks and crannies on the paper that you've created shows up. But if you use the pouring medium, it's slightly thicker, it may show up less, and the gloss will be a bit more. And if the gloss is a bit more, you would see the lighting that's above this, directly above this. So in any case, I do like it because it looks more of how the original paint would look like when it's a little bit glossy. Like, let me show you a piece of it. Remind you. Okay, so this is how glossy the original piece of paper looks after using the acrylic paint, and this is how this looks now. So it's pretty close. See? So I'm really happy with this. So that's about it. Oh yes, let me give you an update of the card, the Christmas card. Let me give you an update of the Christmas card that I made in the previous video. So, remember this Christmas card that I made? Okay, so it flattened out, okay, not by a lot. So if I were to send this to someone else, I could do it now, but I wouldn't be. I'm not doing it. And this is matte, okay? Because of the matte gel medium, everything here is matte. Okay, and yes, if I were to do this again, I would do it on a thicker piece of watercolor paper so I don't get this much warping. Okay, so basically that's it for the video. That's it for this video. So I will talk to you again in the next video. Bye.